Before Shaquille O'Neal became one of the most dominant forces the NBA has ever seen, he was just a massive kid with a lot of energy and a bit of a temper. Born in 1972, Shaq stood out from a very young age. By age 3, he was already so big that his mother had to carry his birth certificate around just to prove he was still young enough to ride the bus for free. But size alone wasn't enough. Shaq was headed down a rough path. He got into fights, acted out, and almost got expelled from 7th grade. Had it not been for a man named Sergeant Philip Harrison, Shaq's story might have ended in tragedy. Harrison, a strict military stepfather, introduced discipline into Shaq's life. He didn't put up with nonsense. When Shaq misbehaved, there were consequences. And when Shaq played basketball, Harrison pushed him to get better. Then came the day that changed everything. At just 13 years old, and already standing 6 feet 7 inches, Shaq was playing pickup basketball on an army base in Germany when he caught the attention of Dale Brown, head coach at LSU. Brown couldn't believe what he was seeing. After learning Shaq's age, he immediately offered the teenager a scholarship. Just like that, a college future was secured before Shaq had even entered high school. After moving to Texas, Shaq played for Cole High School in San Antonio. There, he didn't just play, he dominated. Over 2 years, his team went 68-1, and they won the state championship during his senior year. While offers poured in from schools across the country, Shaq stayed loyal to Coach Brown and committed to LSU. By the time he arrived on campus, he was an absolute spectacle. Standing 7 feet 1 inch, 300 pounds, with a 7 feet 7 inches wingspan, size 23 shoes, and the agility of a guard, Shaq looked like something out of a video game. During warm-ups before his first college game, the entire arena fell silent. People couldn't believe what they were seeing, someone that big, moving that fast. His freshman year at LSU was relatively quiet, but over the next 2 seasons, Shaq exploded. He averaged 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks per game. Despite being snubbed for the 1992 Olympic Dream Team in favor of Christian Laettner, everyone knew who the real future star was. The Orlando Magic saw it too. In the 1992 NBA draft, they selected Shaquille O'Neal with the first overall pick, hoping he'd be the game changer they needed. And they were absolutely right. What came next would shake, literally, the foundation of the NBA. Shaquille O'Neal didn't just arrive in the NBA, he announced his presence with destruction. From the moment he put on a Magic jersey in 1992, Shaq was something the league had never seen before. Sure, there had been dominant big men in the past, but no one this massive, this athletic, and this entertaining. In just his rookie year, Shaq wasn't just dunking, he was breaking backboards. Against the Nets, he shattered the entire structure. Then against the Suns, he brought down the whole goal. It got so crazy that the NBA had to reinforce the baskets league-wide just to survive the Shaq attack. But make no mistake, he was more than just brute force. Despite weighing nearly 300 pounds, Shaq had ball-handling skills, could run the fast break, and had surprising footwork for a man of his size. He averaged 23 points, 14 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks per game during his rookie season, numbers unheard of for a first-year player. He became the first rookie since Michael Jordan to make the All-Star game and was named Rookie of the Year by almost unanimous vote. Off the court, Shaq was already becoming a brand. With his charisma, humor, and love for the spotlight, he was landing endorsements, making TV appearances, and even diving into acting. In 1994, he starred in Blue Chips, a basketball film where he met Penny Hardaway, a slick, high-IQ point guard from Memphis. The two instantly clicked, forming a duo that fans believed could be the next Magic and Kareem. That summer, the Orlando Magic got lucky. Despite just a 0.01% chance, they landed the first pick in the draft, and Shaq used his influence to push the team to draft Penny. Management listened. Now, Orlando had a young, explosive duo that could take the league by storm. In 1994, Shaq's numbers climbed even higher. 29 points per game, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks, with a league-best 60% shooting. Penny was runner-up for Rookie of the Year, and the Magic won 50 games in the regular season. But reality hit hard in the playoffs when they were swept by the Indiana Pacers. It was a lesson. Talent alone wasn't enough. They needed veteran leadership. The Magic responded by signing Horace Grant and Brian Shaw, and in 1995, they returned stronger. Shaq led the league in scoring, Penny became an all-star, and the team won 57 games, the best in the NBA. In the playoffs, they made franchise history by winning their first series, then shocked the world by beating Michael Jordan's Bulls in the second round. Yes, MJ had just come back from his baseball break, but he was still averaging 31 points, and Shaq outruled him. Orlando made it to the NBA Finals for the first time ever, facing the defending champs, the Houston Rockets and Hakeem Olajuwon. Game 1 came down to the wire. With a 3-point lead and 10 seconds left, Nick Anderson missed 4 free throws in a row, and the Rockets capitalized. They won in overtime and never looked back. Despite solid numbers from Shaq, Hakeem dominated the matchup, and the Magic were swept in 4 games. Shaq later admitted he wasn't mentally prepared for that series. He and Dennis Scott partied the week before the finals instead of focusing on the biggest games of their lives. It was a painful wake-up call. In 1996, the Magic were better than ever, winning 60 games, a franchise record, but they ran into the buzzsaw that was the 72-10 Chicago Bulls. With Michael Jordan in MVP form and a reloaded squad featuring Dennis Rodman, the Bulls crushed the Magic in a 4-game sweep in the conference finals. And just like that, things started to fall apart in Orlando. Shaq's contract negotiations became messy. Ownership hesitated to pay him what he deserved, and to make things worse, a local poll in the Orlando Sentinel showed that 85% of fans didn't think Shaq was worth $100 million. That was the final straw. Enter Jerry West. The legendary Lakers GM offered Shaq a massive contract, the bright lights of Los Angeles, and the promise of championship banners. Shaq couldn't resist. Just like that, the most powerful young center in the game left Orlando behind for Hollywood. But what came next? The fun was over. Shaq was about to step onto the biggest stage of his career and face the biggest questions of all. Was he ready to win? When Shaquille O'Neal signed with the Los Angeles Lakers in 1996, it felt like a match made in heaven. Bright lights, big money, and the entertainment capital of the world. It was the perfect stage for the larger-than-life superstar. But for all the hype, the results weren't immediate. Shaq continued to put up big numbers, leading the league in field goal percentage and averaging over 26 points and 11 rebounds per game, but the Lakers struggled in the postseason. They were getting swept in the playoffs, and critics started asking the uncomfortable question: can Shaq really lead a team to a championship? Meanwhile, a young, fearless 18-year-old shooting guard named Kobe Bryant had arrived in LA. The two had different personalities. Shaq was laid back, loved to party, and enjoy life. Kobe was intense, obsessed with greatness, and always in the gym. At first, the chemistry was shaky. They had talent, but the Lakers still lacked leadership and discipline. Everything changed in 1999 when the Lakers hired Phil Jackson, the mastermind behind the Chicago Bulls' 6 championships. Phil brought with him the famous triangle offense, but more importantly, he brought focus. He challenged Shaq to get serious, and for once, Shaq listened. That offseason, O'Neal skipped the movie sets, stopped partying, and hit the gym like never before. He entered the 1999-2000 season in the best shape of his life, and it showed. Shaq absolutely destroyed the league that year. He averaged 29.7 points, 13.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 3 blocks per game. He led the league in scoring and field goal percentage, and was just 1 vote shy of becoming the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. The Lakers finished with 67 wins, the best record in the league and the 5th best in NBA history at that time. In the playoffs, things weren't easy. They battled through tough opponents and nearly fell to the Portland Trail Blazers in the Western Conference Finals. In Game 7, the Lakers were down by 15 points in the 4th quarter. Then, history happened. With under a minute left, Kobe lobbed a perfect alley-oop to Shaq, who slammed it home and pointed to the crowd in celebration. That moment became one of the most iconic plays in NBA history, symbolizing the official arrival of the Shaq-Kobe era. In the NBA Finals, the Lakers faced the Indiana Pacers. While the Pacers fought hard behind Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose, they had no answer for Shaq. He was on a mission, 38 points and 17 rebounds per game. Total destruction. The Lakers won in 6 games, and Shaq was crowned Finals MVP for the first time in his career. But here's the thing. After finally tasting glory, Shaq got comfortable again. Instead of using the summer to train harder, he went back to filming movies, rapping, and enjoying life. When the next season started, he was out of shape, and that didn't sit well with Kobe Bryant. The tension began to build. Kobe wanted to win even more titles. Shaq wanted to do things on his own timeline. Despite the drama, the Lakers still dominated. In the 2001 playoffs, they were untouchable, sweeping through the Western Conference and only losing 1 game in the entire postseason. That one loss came in Game 1 of the Finals when Allen Iverson dropped 48 points and famously stepped over Tyronn Lue. Shaq wasn't happy about that. In the next 4 games, he took over again, 33 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3.5 blocks per game, and led the Lakers to their 2nd straight championship, earning another Finals MVP. By 2002, the Lakers were going for the three-peat, and their biggest threat was the Sacramento Kings, the number 1 seed and arguably the best team in basketball that year. The series went to 7 games and featured some of the most controversial officiating in NBA history. But Shaq did what Shaq always did: 36 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and helped carry LA back to the finals. There, they swept the New Jersey Nets. 3 straight championships. 3 Finals MVPs. Shaquille O'Neal was now undeniably the most dominant force in basketball. But success comes at a cost. The feud with Kobe was getting worse. The media was choosing sides. Shaq was still elite, but he was aging, and his commitment to conditioning was slipping again. Meanwhile, Kobe was getting better and more vocal. And when the Lakers fell short in the 2003 playoffs and then failed in 2004, despite adding legends like Karl Malone and Gary Payton, the dynasty crumbled. Up next was a breakup no one wanted to see. Shaq versus Kobe would soon come to an ugly end. After years of dominance in Los Angeles, the partnership between Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant finally imploded. The feud, the egos, the contract drama, it all came to a head in 2004. The Lakers chose Kobe. And just like that, the Big Diesel was shipped to South Beach. Shaq arrived in Miami with something to prove. The Lakers didn't want to pay him. Fans were questioning his effort. Critics said he was past his prime. But Pat Riley, known for his no-nonsense culture, saw value in the big man. Miami had a strict 10% body fat policy, and Shaq ballooned to nearly 400 pounds at the end of his LA run. So, for the 2004-05 season, he trimmed down to 320 pounds, determined to prove he still had gas in the tank.
And he did.
Playing alongside a rising star named Dwayne Wade, Shaq brought instant credibility to the Heat. That season, he averaged 22.9 points, 10.4 rebounds, and finished second in MVP voting, just behind Steve Nash, a result Shaq still grumbles about to this day. Miami finished with the best record in the East, swept through the early playoff rounds, but ultimately fell in 7 games to the Detroit Pistons in the conference finals. Shaq wasn't satisfied. He came back the next season locked in. In 2006, the Heat got their revenge. They beat the Pistons and reached the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. But the title didn't come easy. Facing the Dallas Mavericks, Miami quickly fell behind 0-2 in the series, and it looked like Shaq's window was closing fast. Then, Dwayne Wade exploded. With Wade playing at a Finals MVP level, Miami stormed back. Shaq didn't dominate like he had in the LA days, but he was still a force in the paint, controlling space, setting brutal screens, altering shots, and grabbing key rebounds. The Heat won 4 straight games to capture the championship. And for Shaq, it was ring number 4, this time, not as the lead star, but as the enforcer, the veteran presence, the mentor. But the good times didn't last. The very next season, injuries and drama returned. Shaq clashed with Pat Riley, even coming close to a physical altercation at practice. His body was breaking down. He was heavier, slower, and less explosive. The Diesel wasn't running like he used to. From there, Shaq became a journeyman, chasing one last shot at glory. He played with Steve Nash in Phoenix, tried to team up with LeBron James in Cleveland, and even joined the Boston Celtics' Big Three for one last run. But none of it worked. His Achilles finally gave out during the 2011 playoffs, and that was it. Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant physical force the NBA had ever seen, retired from basketball.